Welcome to our Homebuyer seminar, October 3rd. It's October already? What the heck happened? I was just started the year. What's going on? I'm Bill Gross with my good friend and colleague.
Patricia Castillo.
Is it really October or what? Like,
It's October. I think we're officially in the holiday season.
are we starting the new year? We have like a new year business plan and we're all excited. What's going on? Where'd the year go? It's been a busy year.
It has been. It flew by, and um, right now it's a really exciting time for buyers. There's a ton of opportunity right now for new construction. New construction has been starting to boom. So, if anybody's looking at homes, maybe in Riverside, there's a lot of new communities out there that are not only offering some price reductions, but interest rate for the first year at 1.99.
Whoa, 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 what?
For the first year, for the first 12 months, your mortgage payment will be at 1.99% interest rate. Second year, 2.99. And then year 3 through 30, 3.99.
Wow.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in that, give me a call. I'd love to share that information with you, and we can go see the models and tour the models out there. But these are the lenders that are working with the builder. So you would get pre qualified through the builder directly. And they're offering some amazing incentives right now.
So let's add up the things going on in the world right now. So rates are a little lower than they were 6 months ago.
Correct.
There's a few more houses for sale in the resale market than was 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a few more new construction homes than there was 6 months ago.
Right.
So all
So
those,
the market is busy and moving, and buyers are buying homes every day.
I have no inventory. Everything I have is an escrow. That's not quite true. We have the loft.
We have the loft on the
That's a whole
market.
unique situation. I have a commercial property that we're actually it's complicated, but we're kind of an escrow on that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, houses have all sold.
Everything is selling.
So what do you think is driving that?
Yeah, everything is selling. I mean, some areas are taking a little bit longer, maybe 2 months to sell, but we're not seeing any drastic price reductions right now throughout LA County.
One thing I wanted to kind of give a heads up to is the importance of working with your agent. I don't want to name any names to get too specific, but I have an escrow where it's my listing, and the buyer had been escrowed by another property, and for whatever reason wanted to cancel it, and then was going to buy my listing. We got an escrow. Well, his money, or the money he thought he was going to put down, he hasn't got back from the other escrow because the house he bought was an REO, which is another way of saying a bank-owned property being sold, a real estate-owned property by a bank.
Right.
And it's not uncommon that banks have different contracts and different forms, and an inexperienced agent will just tell them to sign it. And it was interesting because it was pretty common with bank-owned forms, because they're more commercial bank, is that the money is not refundable unless let me put it the other way. In a standard transaction, standard California Association Realtor purchase agreement,
Hmm.
the money doesn't become what's called hard, or you don't waive contingencies unless you positively, in writing,
Right.
say, I waive all contingencies. But on these bank-owned properties, it's the opposite. If they give you 17 days, on the 18th day, your money is tied down. Now, there's law and there's different cases and all, but in general, that's how they like to write it. And so here was a case where a buyer has 3% down on about a $400,000 property, about $12,000, $13,000, and he can't get it back to put down the next house because his realtor didn't tell him before he got into this. I've been in bank-owned deals before where we watched the clock, and the day before we were in writing, hey, we're not accepting this, blah blah, whatever the story was.
Hmm.
So all that's a long way of saying is, yeah, you might find the house you've been looking for rich or lower now. Make sure you work with an agent who knows what they're doing, because there are people getting into deals and they're not getting the house, and they're spending money and not getting the house, and that's not a good situation.
Yeah. I mean, um, I helped another agent that similar, situation. The buyer made an offer on a condo in Huntington Park, had the inspection done, appraisal, loan was approved, waived all contingencies. suddenly
What
had
could go wrong? What
right,
could go wrong?
right, suddenly had a change of heart, didn't want to live in that neighborhood anymore
Oh,
for
oh.
personal preferences. So it was
Mm,
all of the buyer's doing
mm.
and his choice to cancel the escrow. Well, at that point, the seller is entitled to that deposit, which was $18,000. So the buyer relinquished the deposit, lost the $18,000. We wrote an offer on another property in Pico Rivera. He was accepted there. So the home buyer grant that I've been talking about for $20,000, we were able to kind of make up for that loss, right? With getting him, we had to switch lenders, get him pre-qualified through the different lender that was offering the grant to make up for that loss. But in hindsight, he could have also had the $18,000 to put down this condo and got the grant for $20,000, right? But
And that's better.
and that's better. You're getting more money. But we tried to at least soften that blow. But that's what happens if once you waive contingencies, you have to be absolutely sure that you are purchasing that property because you will lose that money that's in escrow.
Now, to be sure, a couple things I would say, not to argue, but just to present some other points of view, that nothing happens unless both parties agree. So even if you're right, I've been in a case where I had a buyer who, within time frame, was in his rights to cancel, was entitled to his money back,
Mhm.
and the seller felt that the buyer was being dishonest. And as I said to the listing agent, it doesn't matter what he feels. The contract says he has to waive his contingencies. He didn't waive it.
Right.
And the other agent didn't know that's what it said, but it's in black and white in our contract. It's not like our contracts are written in a foreign language. Anybody can read it. And
Hmm.
this was the broker at a large, I don't want to say the name of the company and embarrass Coldwell Banker in Beverly Hills. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it's like, how is this guy the broker, the manager of the office, and he hasn't even read the form? But even still, even though I was right and had the documents right, you can't do anything until the other party agrees, and they can drag their feet.
Right.
Theoretically, they're liable for damages. Theoretically, you could sue them if they're malicious. But who wants to do all that? Better off not getting in that position in the first place and avoiding that. And the other thing I would say is that sometimes when the seller tries to lock you down, they're very strict on the buyer, but they're very lenient on themselves. And what I mean by that is they may have, say you only have 17 days for a loan approval, but if they give you a form 3 days before that, and the default in the contract says you have 7 days to review it, they've reopened their contingency period, not for the loan maybe, but for this new document.
Just for the
And so,
new document. Yeah, the new information that was presented.
right. That's why as a listing agent, you want to get everything in right away and get the buyer to sign it. And that's why as a buyer's agent, you don't want to ever sign anything until you have to, until they force you to.
Right.
And, and I've been in a case where the listing agent tried to force us to clear, and I said, well, you gave us this and it was late, so we haven't reviewed it yet. And then he waited for that and sent me a 3-day close. I said, well, actually, this other form you also gave me late. And I did this 3 times, and he finally said, well, can't you just tell me everything we did wrong? I said, no, that's not my job. My job is to protect my buyer. My job is not to help you stick my buyer down. And so, again, this is where having a good agent like Patricia who can look at these things might find you a solution. So don't assume your money's lost, and also make sure you get into an escrow. It's a big transaction. You want somebody on your side who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and be careful with those auction properties too.
Mm.
These also tend to have the buyers waive all their contingencies upon writing the offer. So
Yep.
I was just looking at, I couldn't remember the address, otherwise I would have pulled it up on the MLS right now. But I was just talking to this other agent friend of mine. We were looking at the MLS remarks, the private remarks, and it shows there that the offer, when it's written, all contingencies have to be waived. And so a buyer would usually have an opportunity to come in and see the property beforehand, but that's when you would really want to do your due diligence on the property inspection. Take somebody with you that is capable of looking at all of the major components of the property to be able to give you some kind of estimate on maybe what might be needed. So you can try to negotiate that, or at least you'll have your contingencies waived, but you know what you're buying. You know what
Right.
the cost is going to be, and you know what kind of problems you're going to be working with.
Right. You want to know what the problems are. You want to know where the alligators are in the swamp before you jump in.
That's right. All right.
Okay.
So
Any
um,
specials weekend, Patricia? Any special open houses, new listings?
this weekend, no open houses yet. I have some clients that want to see property, so you'll be seeing my property tours.
Oh, wow. Where are you going to be showing property?
Different parts of LA, Compton, Southgate, Downey, different areas of LA.
The 562, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I'm actually off. Today's a Jewish holiday. Friday, I'll be back when this thing is airing. If I can help in any way, please reach out. I'm at Bill Gross Probate. Patricia, how do people get a hold of you?
My cell number 323-365-9909.
Or watch her on the IG. What's your IG handle?
Patricia Castillo Sales LA.
She does, man. She's selling stuff. It's like a new open house, a this, a that, a meeting. I'm exhausted just watching your IG. I really, I show up at work at 8 o'clock and I watch your Instagram for a little while, and I have to get like a towel and wipe my head off and get a cup of coffee. I'm so tired. You're working it, girl. Good for you.
Keeps me busy, keeps me active.
It's a fun business. It's a great time to be in real estate. I think that for a lot of people it's tough, but I would say this: if you work hard every day, there's enough business to make money, and just keep going at it. And for those of you
Yeah.
looking to achieve your dreams, I'm here to help you. Patricia's here to help you. Let's do it, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Thank you,
Thanks,
Bill.
sir.
Have
Thanks
a
so
good day
much.
off. Bye bye.